What is happening, everybody? I hope you've had a good...
Back in like 2005, something like that.
I think my first con was so good. It's Friday Junior.
It's Friday Junior, it's podcast day, it's payday.
And if you come out doing a like, doesn't matter how you feel about the situation.
My name is Raff, and always before we start the podcast, because we just want to talk about it. We want to talk about music, and just share those stories and experience. This is my co-host, Carl, aka the BeerBuddy. He is hailing you.
This sort of weird era where they're sort of right in that post-grunge.
Look, you're fighting the good fight in today's world. My war was fought 40 years ago, really.
We are the two dudes who talk music, and we are here. Hey, I'm too quick on that air horn button, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, that is amazing. I love it. Second of it, dude. Fantastic.
How you going, all you absolute legends? I am the Reverend Raff. This is my co-host Kyle, aka the BeerBuddy. We are the two dudes who talk music, and we are here today with another podcast episode for you. But before we dive into that, we have podcast episodes every Thursday with ancillary content on the weekends. We do reaction videos every Monday and Friday, as well as Wednesday if there's lots of cool stuff coming out. So if you enjoy your time with us today, it'd mean a lot if you could hit that subscribe button down there, maybe like and share the video, because look, we're a small channel. We're trying to get some growth here, and to be quite honest, we don't want to resort to clickbaity stuff to draw people in. We just want to be honest and genuine and talk to you guys about the stuff that we enjoy and care about, and hope that it sparks something with you as well. But basically, yeah, we got videos dropping almost every single day of the week, so there's plenty of stuff coming out for you. And we got a really, really special series that's starting today, which I'll tell you more about in a second. But you can also get, if you prefer the audio version of the podcast, you can get it on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Nuts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts from. Sorry, mate. Almost made you spit out your beer. And but wherever you get your good podcasts from. But look, with that out of the way, mate, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, Really, really, really good. Really looking forward to the run up to what you're about to announce. I mean, when we reached out, we didn't expect it to sort of go like this, and I'm really happy it has. So I'm keen.
It's looking like it's going to be very, very fun for the next few months. Man. But
and how have you been?
Yeah, look, I'm not too bad, man. Just did myself a little Christmas in July dinner. Had myself some, did myself some mashed potatoes and some honey garlic veggies and some pork loin steaks that cut like butter. They were beautiful with a little bit of cranberry sauce on the side there. I'm getting to be pretty whiz in the kitchen, mate. I'm getting to be pretty damn good in the kitchen, if you ask me. But look, today, for all you amazing people, as I mentioned, we are starting something very, very special. Now, if you've followed us for a little while and caught some of our previous episodes, you may remember an episode where we mentioned Kyle introduced me to the idea of a heavy metal festival that he had seen called Metal to the Max, which is a heavy metal festival that takes place at the Mad Max 2 compound out near Broken Hill. Now, for those of you who may not be aware, Broken Hill is way out in the arse end of New South Wales, very, very close to the South Australian border, so close to the South Australian border, in fact, that it is on South Australian time. And the Mad Max 2 compound, it is, yes, that compound from Mad Max 2, it's out there. They've got the Mad Max Museum and everything out there, and the absolute mad lads at, Lead Heavy Promotions have decided what a great idea it would be to put a heavy metal festival on out there. So we love the idea so much that we reached out and we said, hey, how would you reckon if we ran a whole series leading up to the event interviewing all the bands on it? They said that sounds like an absolutely brilliant idea. So today we start that series. It's going to be basically 3 solid months of this, so I hope you guys like it, because that's what you're getting for the next 3 months.
Choice.
And we are actually starting today with some Broken Hill natives. That's right. Ooh. Today we have a band called Pit Vipers. They are going to be on this Metal to the Max festival, and they are from Broken Hill, so we are hoping that they can give us a little bit of info on the compound, on getting about Broken Hill while you're out there for the festival, and all that crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, look, without further ado, actually, one little more ado, if you're interested in Metal to the Max Festival, we are going to have links down in the description to all the necessary things. It's going to be ticket links. There's going to be a playlist in there with songs from all the incredible bands. There's a Spotify playlist there, so we'll link that in there. We'll link to the ticket sales. We'll link to the event. We're going to link to Lead Heavy Promotions, where they're going to have all the information about it. So if you're interested in this festival and you think it sounds as rad as we do, because I'll be honest, we're trying to get out there for that. We're trying to make that happen. So if you go, not only will you get to see a couple of sick bands, more than a couple, you get to see a couple of dozen sick bands. Because this thing goes over 2 days. It's camping. It's incredible. This whole thing is just going to be wild. So look, we're going to get into it with Pit Vipers. Crack yourself a drink. Sit back in your favorite chair. And we're going to get into this one right now with Pit Vipers.
Sweet.
Thank you very, very much for joining us today, gentlemen. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to crack one with us on this fine afternoon. And we can talk all about Metal to the Max and Pit Vipers. So I'm going to guess that there's not a lot of big events that are this close to home for you guys, being based out at Broken Hill.
No, for the most part, no. Nothing like this. Yeah, no, this is the first shit that I like for a long time. Yeah, that I can remember. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Wow.
Like the whole concept just it ticks every box for me. You know, I'll be honest. Like it's thematic. It's like the site and the setup's going to be amazing. I just in my head I've got all these ideas on how cool it can look. I think it's just going to be a really special event. And hopefully it's something that kind of takes off and continues. So for those that are not aware of Pit Vipers, what's the elevator pitch?
Basically, we're a 5-piece metal band recently formed in Broken Hill. We do covers of metal and new metal songs from the 90s to early 2000s. So we're kind of all the good, the peak of civilization, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm rocking the Infectious Grooves cap here. Like, you know, that's my jam. That's the heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like, I suspect that. You know, we're probably relatively similar ages, and you know, Kyle and I grew up in it. Like we were there in the thick of it with Korn and Limp Bizkit and Disturbed and all that back in the day. So that's very, very much our bread and butter.
Yeah, I believe my first email address was like Disturbed Corn Freak or something like that.
Anyway, any band tattoos?
I don't have any band tattoos.
No. Anyone?
Yeah, no, I've got one I got when I was 17. I got the Slipknot logo tattooed on my leg. I was the coolest kid in school that day, I'll tell you.
mate, us new metal kids, we're not shy on getting the old branding.
No, it was part of growing up. Like once someone done it, like everyone done it. So it was brilliant.
Yep.
Dude, it's so true.
That's awesome. I mean, look, that's the thing. It's whenever you go to like the metal clubs and stuff like that, that era, that new metal era, is the stuff that gets people up off their asses and dancing on the dance floor usually. So it's guaranteed. It was a very fun period in metal. And I think that's why it's one of the reasons it's so fondly remembered is because it was such a new and exciting period, and that explosion of diversity that you got was unrivaled.
Well, there's something about a grown man in an Adidas tracksuit going boom, just got you going, man. Just done something to you. How's the response been of the locals? Has there been much chatter among, like, has there been sort of like bit of wind up the sails and everybody being like, mad an event, I don't care what's being played, I'm going?
Oh, it's been pretty decent. Like the people I've spoken to, at least, they've been pretty keen for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the ticket sales last I heard were going mental.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good. That's what we want to hear. The more people, the merrier. Like if an event like this can do well, I really think, like I said, it can become something really special. A little bit like what's that one out in Northern Territory, Blackened Festival or whatever it is that they have out at like Alice Springs. Like I think that like that sounds like it'd be awesome to attend. Like I think it'd be a really nice special vibe, and because if you've traveled that far for something, you want to have a good time. You want to make it special. You want to enjoy it. And not just for the people that are attending, but like the people that have gone to put it on. Like they know the effort everyone's gone to. Yeah. So the amount of you don't want that to be for nothing. You want that to be super special. So yeah, we're excited. We're hoping to get out there for it. Look, tell us about the metal scene in Broken Hill. Like what is there much of a scene out there? Like is it just like is it like the five of you and that's kind of it?
It's getting better. There's some young bands now playing some pretty killer tracks. They're running their own tracks. There's a lot. Well, not a lot. There's three? I think there's three young bands. Yeah, with us, and then there's a band called Firestorm, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. Mm-hmm. They just got off their tour with Unleash the Arch. Something like that. Unleash the Archers. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, there's not a lot of bands, but it's getting there. There's a lot of years where there was next to nothing. It's coming back.
That's a big drought. There was a big drought that's broken.
Yeah. So is there many places that'll put metal bands on in Broken Hill?
There's a couple. There's a handful, a couple of pubs and some like footy clubs and stuff that local footy clubs will do it. And it seems to be now that they're doing a lot more gigs now. Like it's starting to come back tenfold. Like there's like I think there was a gig the other weekend with my nephew's band. He played it. They play the Palace pub and everything. So it's slowly they're slowly starting to open up.
There's a King Parrot gig.
King Parrot.
Love that. Love those boys in King Parrot. Absolute legends. Yeah. That's awesome though. That's awesome. And I imagine you'd have a lot of the regional bands from like other sort of regional towns making the trek to do stuff as well. Or not so much.
Sometimes too, yeah.
Get some SA bands sometimes.
Yeah. If it's organised, everything, it's not. They don't normally sit there and go, well, it's a sad day. We'll go to Broken Hill for a gig. But they're normally happy to travel somewhere new, a new crowd.
Nice. And so, do you find that there's a bit more of a is there a bit more of like a crossover where the locals that aren't necessarily into metal are just like, oh, something's on, so I'll go, or is it? Do you get a lot of a lot of pushback from the non-metal heads?
Not really. No. There's a pretty good
most of the gigs I've been to here. You'll get a pretty good diverse crowd of like people in Machine Head shirts and Iron Maiden shirts standing next to the guy in the Ringers Western shirt with a cougar rod. Like, and they're just happy because it's live music.
It's something on. Yeah.
Recently, we had an 18th birthday rock up at a gig full of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Those blow-up dinosaur costumes.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's not
that many venues, I guess, so everyone kind of is there anyway.
If you're going out, that's kind of where you're going anyway. Yeah. So if something's on, something's on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we tell a lot of the bands that we speak to locally. It's like, they're sort of like plugging away at the same old pubs, doing the same old circuits here. It's just like, man, you got to start going out to those regional places. Like they're just sick for someone to come out and do something different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you find there are certain bands that have really conquered the local scene, and that's how they've done it. Like they realise that the local scene doesn't revolve around the suburbs and the inner city and the city and stuff like that. The local scene does, the local scene does spread out to these regional areas. It's still local.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what I guess. I mean, I have to imagine Broken Hill is sort of, even amongst a lot of the regional tours, maybe not the most common stop.
No, we're 3 hours away from the closest.
We're kind of out of the way of everything.
Yeah. But look, I mean, it's that's part of the reason I think this is going to be such a special event. I think it's really just gonna it's gonna get so many bands out there, so many fans are gonna be going out there, and whether it lasts for whether it becomes a huge thing and goes for 10 years or more, or whether it just kind of goes for a couple of years and peters out. I think that people that went are gonna hold it in very, very fond memory for a very long time to come. Right? It's going to be something that's talked about for quite a while. Is there now? Look, we've not really talked to our audience just yet about the whole lineup, but is there any bands on the lineup that you guys are particularly keen to mix it up with?
I've been checking them out on Spotify, and all the ones I've listened to are absolutely awesome. So I'm just keen to hear them all play. I'm keen to play our set, have some beers, and listen to good music.
Yeah.
So,
Well, look,
the unfortunate thing is, if you guys are doing those covers slam, and they're all going to walk off stage and go, "Oh man, they just played the best set of the day."
Yeah, we got it easy.
Yeah, we do.
Hey, no, you don't. No, you don't. If you're going to you got to do it properly.
That's
do hard work.
Yeah.
I
I recognize a few of the bands that are on the lineup. Witch Grinder, I've seen those guys. I played shows with those guys in bands I've been involved with over the years. They always kick ass. Flaming Wreckage. If you haven't seen Flaming Wreckage, you guys are. Let me tell you, you guys are in for a treat with Flaming Wreckage for sure. They've been grinding away for 10+ years. I think they've just released their 4th album, and they are such a great show. They've only gotten better and better with each album. I remember seeing them back in the early days. Kyle and I both saw them back in the early days in Sydney.
I think we played shows with them back in the day.
We might have, yeah. We might have even played some shows with them early on. And they're just really, they just kick ass. They really, really do.
Great bunch of dudes too.
Who else is on here? Anton and Major, that's a great band. Really, really, really exciting live shows. Armored Earth is great too. Armored Earth. I have known the singer, been acquainted with the singer from Armored Earth since multiple bands ago for him, because he at one stage I think was doing vocals for Frankenbach, and even prior to that, his previous band, Scar the Surface, were just killer. So good. But at the same time, you got Darker Half, which is just absolute, legends in Australian Australian metal scene as well. It's that. If that lineup isn't enough to make people get off their ass and go to something like this, I don't know what is. I really, really don't. We're going to be having links to everything, as I said in the intro here. For the people watching, there's going to be links to all of the stuff in the description of all of this. So if you are interested in this, you want to get on it. As the guys said, tickets seem to be moving pretty quick. So
yeah, it's good.
You are not going to want to miss out. You guys mentioned that you kind of mainly do covers there. Are you is original music something you guys are working towards, or is the plan just sort of we like playing these songs, we're just going to have fun playing these songs and doing that? Or
it's a bit of both. We're
sort of kicking around the idea of originals. We haven't done anything.
No, we've been talking about it, but the whole concept of the band was just to get together and play the old school cool music that we all grew up with. We didn't have we didn't plan on doing any gigs or anything. It was just we're going to get together and just jam it out and see what happens. But
we ended up sounding all right.
Yeah, too bad. So it's come along well. So, but we've mentioned a few times that we should start getting some original stuff together. But at the moment, nothing's eventuated because we all work. We all got families and stuff. It's just hard.
Life gets in the way.
Life gets in the way, but it is something we're going to push forward and get done soon, hopefully.
Either way, man, just be that local band in Broken Hill that everyone that from the outer places gets in to come on because they know you fill out the pub because you do it so well.
Yeah,
and you just know how to put on a party.
Yeah, clean.
You know what I mean? Lean into it. Be the local heroes. You know what I mean?
And plus, if everyone else is out there doing originals, you guys can own that cover space. That's a corner of the market
Yeah.
And you know, and I know it's not necessarily like, it's like talking about it in terms of like the market and whatever, but like, and from a business angle, but you know, you kind of have to have at least a bit of consideration for that, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's hard to get a crowd keen if they don't know any of the songs.
Yeah, exactly,
Mate,
exactly.
That's why even when I was in a band, we used to put a cover halfway through the set. If people weren't being receptive, by the time you blew that cover out the water, they were receptive for the second half of your set.
Like, that's it. You have to wait to see what you do next.
That's it.
And I'll be honest, like I've played mostly originals, but I've done some tribute sets and covers sets at different times over the last sort of 15 years, and it gets the response that you wish your original stuff did. I'll be honest, like it gets, you know, like when you bust out that cover and it's like everyone's like, "Holy shit, I know this one," and then they get excited. It always gets the response, and you wish, you're like, why can't you get that excited for my songs?
Yeah,
but you know, as we said, like it's the stuff people know, and it's like it's. I'm not going to begrudge anyone enjoying the music that they enjoy.
As long as you're enjoying, I don't care. Have fun. It's not us for us. It's never us to say how you enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you guys then on the cover band front. Okay, well, I'll ask this one for each of you guys then. What do you think is the best cover that you guys do, and what is your favorite cover to do if they're not the same?
I've got mine. Yeah, there you go. So we as like we've been doing the jamming and stuff, and we were playing a bit of Static X Push It, and we ended up getting the backing tracks and everything like that for it. Like we played it without it for a few months, and then we thought, no, let's just try the backing tracks, and we tried it, and it sounds amazing. It sounds so good, but that's my favourite song to play, and I love it. It's great. With that backtrack sounds amazing. And Steve singing, fucking knocks it out of the park. It's so good.
So probably my favourite to play is People Equal Shit.
Oh yeah.
The one I think we do the best is Blood, Sweat and Tears. I love that. You'll come through so nicely.
Probably the most fun one would be Break Stuff for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Break Stuff, definitely.
You look like a gentleman who does like to break stuff.
Well, he's even got the NY cap on. So
yeah, absolutely. Fred Durst, modern day philosopher.
Hey, look, people can hate on him all they want.
Yeah,
but a lot of the time, I guess those same people wish they were him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, man. Yeah, shit.
Like, you know, he's Fred Durst. He's done some stupid stuff, but like he's Fred Durst. He can kind of like, if anyone can get away with it, it's you know, like I think
don't act like anyone can sit here that's a critic of Fred Durst sit there and go, yeah, probably just have done the same, if not just as bad.
Just wasn't.
The only difference is, the only difference is I'm not famous.
It wasn't on camera. I mean, like so just for bit of context, bit of background for you guys. Like I did in 2015, I organised kind of a show that was kind of along the lines of the Roadrunner United show, if you're familiar with that one. Like just basically we got a bunch of Sydney bands, but different people from all the bands, shuffled them around into different groups, and we just did covers. It was all just like, get up there, play the covers you've always wanted to play with your bands that you just haven't been able to. And it was just like put it as this whole like, you know, Sydney or New South Wales metal like coming together and just doing this crazy fun show. And like Kyle actually ended up doing vocals for, like, I played bass for one of the bands and Kyle ended up doing vocals for that band. And yeah, it was like we literally did all the new metal stuff. That was the thing. It was like we literally said, okay, what songs get people on the dance floor at the club? And that's what we played. So it was like we ended up pulling people out of the crowd. We just said, all right, we're playing this next. Who wants to have a go with me? And we just had 2 mics up on stage, and we just kept on grabbing people. Just grab one person out of the crowd to have a go. It was like karaoke for them. So we did break stuff. We did spit it out. What else?
Cold chamber one in there.
Yeah. Was it what song did what Coal Chamber song was it? I can't even. Fiend, was it Fiend? I think so. I think that was the one. And we, like American Head Charge, like Fear Factory, just like all the.
There was a Corn one in there. Someone.
Yep, Corn and just everything. It was it's a hell of a lot of fun to do. It really is. Like, I mean, it's nice to have for someone that mostly does original music. When I've had the opportunity to do those covers and those tribute shows, it's nice to just be able to go. I don't have to stress over if the song's good, if people are going to like the songs. Like, I know the song's good. I know people are going to like it. All I have to do is put on a decent performance of it.
Yeah.
And it's, and my job's, and so like, it's almost, and that's not to say that it's easy necessarily, because you have to do a good rendition of it, right? Like, that's the key thing. It's always, you have to put on a good rendition of it. And there's obviously there's the joke that like, like musicians join cover bands when they give up on being musicians, right? And I'm just like, it's a bit like the those who can do, those who cannot teach kind of joke, right? It's a bit like, and look, but it's yes, it's a running joke, but it takes a lot of effort to do that properly. And if you're playing multiple bands as well, it's you have to find a way to make your sound be kind of a middle ground for everything, and you have to have a vocalist that can do all those different styles. Which is just, it's an incredible amount of work that goes into that.
Because the last thing you want to be is in a cover band, and whenever you start playing, like, look, if you're in an original band and people start walking out during your set, that's just a you thing that you might need to work on. If you're playing in a cover band and all that work's been done for you, and then people start walking out during your set, I think that may be a time to maybe start to reflect on yourself and maybe quit. If you can't play, if you're pissing off everyone so bad that you can't play someone else's song, just at least so they can stay in the room.
Something's on.
So all your guys, you've all like born and raised Broken Hill your whole lives, lived around there?
Yep. Yeah. Born and raised, yeah.
Have you guys played in any other bands previously?
Yeah.
What can you tell us about those?
No, we go first. Yours is better than mine. Your band is better than mine.
Well, yeah, I guess growing up, like as a teenager, that we're kind of always in bands with your mates, kind of jamming and stuff. But never, you'd jam, and then people would change, and different people would come in and get and out. But yeah, we had a band. Going back like 15 years now. We actually, most of us moved to Adelaide, and we played quite a few shows down there. Mm-hmm. And then, after a few years, we realised how hard it was to be some guys from the country to try and crack into the local scene when you don't really know anyone.
Yeah.
So that kind of, and a few lineup changes later, like there was only a couple of original ones left, me and another guy. And basically that was the end. We finished up there, and I had kids and stuff like that, and kind of was like, oh, well, if I can't, 100% commit to a band, I'm not going to kind of bother with it anymore. And then, moving back out to Broken Hill a couple of years back and started jamming with the boys and that. And, that's pretty much my story. It's, that's how we've kind of got back into it, really, the last couple of years.
Yeah. As long as you got back into it.
That's it. Exactly. Had a break, and now we're back. I'm back in.
I mean, mine was pretty much the same. I was in a metal band for 6-7 years or something like that. Released an album, and then, I had my son, and the other guys, one of them had kids, well, two of them had kids, and it was just sort of like, all right, that got difficult. And then we just sort of went, you know what, let's call it a day, focused on the family life for a bit. And 10 years later, Steve here got onto me and went, play drums for me. Okay. It's been awesome. So
that's good, man.
Nah, that's rad.
Similar story, man. High school band with all my mates. Brilliant. We were called Exposure.
Oh,
yeah, I
know. Was your first single called Indecent?
It should have been. And then, like, obviously, all the boys parted ways. Like, they'd done their uni thing and stuff, and I think it was about 10 years after that, I joined another band with a guy named Max. We were called Structure. That only lasted a few years, and Max ended up moving away. And then I just stopped. I still played guitar and stuff at home, but same thing. Harry approached me and said, would I be interested? And I'm like, yeah, if we're like through the whole spiel, like, it's just going to be covers. I'm like, fuck, I'm in. I love it. Yeah. So here we are.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, and at the core of it, right? Like, I guess it's just about beneath everything else and all the other stuff that you try and do when you're playing music. The core thing is you want to have fun with your mates.
Yeah, exactly.
That to me is like the ultimate sort of part of everything. And if you can't do that, if you're not at least getting that part of it, what are you even doing?
Yeah, well, it's not like you're like a session musician or nothing like that. One thing I do want to ask though, considering the sort of like you spat off a couple of bands there, how do you guys sort of work with tunings and stuff like that and find a decent middle ground? Because there is like, so you just like static X, I'm assuming. So look, I go through this hot debate, and you know what? I think now is a good time to bring it up, and we might be able to get some good answers to this at the actual event too. Mm-hmm. Guys, maybe you guys can shed some light on this. I want to know who the new metal big four are, but we know Korn, Slipknot. You know, you just said Slipknot, Static X, stuff like that. I'm going to have to say, and you said Break Stuff, Limp Bizkit. How do you find a middle ground with your tunings? Because I'm going to assume you don't have 30 guitars off stage.
But no,
I mean, look, I don't want to be that guy and say that you don't have money or nothing like that, because you might have 30 guitars off stage. I don't know. But I'm assuming there's not a pub that could fit that. There we go. That's a better way of saying it. There's no pub that could fit a rig that big.
Well, with Metal to the Max, we've basically gone our set list and tried to have as few changeovers as possible. I think we've got three. Oh, well, one of those is just C sharp.
Yeah,
down to B.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
two guitars each, and then I don't change anything because I play drums. I was going to rock up and hope for the best. But yeah, I think it's just mainly two tunings.
Yeah, when we first started doing the jamming night together, we tried like just going from like C, like B, everything, but it was just like I said, like we don't have 30 guitars on hand, so we just went, all right, let's just try and run everything in B. It sounded good. A lot of the stuff sounded good that wasn't tuned to B. And then we thought, we're going to have to start dabbling in C, like start dabbling with the tuning, trying to get it to sound that a little bit better. And now we just, like Harry said, we just pretty much the three tunings for the set list coming up, like C, C sharp, and B, and it works. The songs sound killer in the tunings that they're in, so yeah.
Just need to get yourself some of those like the Digitech drop pedals or something to cheat your way through it.
We should.
Well, we should. You've got the technology, man. So
we do. We've got the tech. We can do it.
You can now. I mean, like, because that's a big thing now, isn't it? I mean, you get so many different bands now, especially now with the way tunings are going. They can spread so far. Then you get 6 strings, 8 strings, and you know, obviously the 7 string in between that, and you're doing Deftone stuff. You just go on all those really weird chord progressions and stuff like that. It's
well, and the other thing is too, like you see a lot of bands, a lot of these, you know, super down-tuned bands that are in like, you know, like G and like G sharp and G and stuff like that. And then when they hit the breakdown, they'll utilize that drop pedal. They'll utilize like the Digitech or whatever they got the Kemper and stuff in there. That's usually got the good quality ones in, but like they'll utilize a drop of a step or a half step, you know, to just get that extra beefiness in the breakdown. And that's like happening at all levels of the industry now, you know. It's like it's definitely as much as it cops shit for being like cheating and stuff, and we can joke about that. Like it's just as legitimate nowadays to utilize that. Like I think anyone that wants to labor under the illusion of it being like not like being cheating or anything. It's like people that still whine about auto-tune. I'm like it's a tool. It's a tool that's available. It's decent, you know. Like yeah.
I mean, one of the best bands I've ever seen was 12 Foot Ninja, and they were insane because, you know, if you've ever heard them, they changed tone and everything all through their songs. And I went and saw them live, and it was pristine. They had the tone changing and everything like that, just running out of their amps. It was absolutely amazing.
And still sad about them parting ways.
Yeah.
Look,
but I mean, it's more about the crowd. You want the crowd to have a good time. If that comes down to, I need the programs to change my tone every here and there, you do it. You want the crowd to have a good time.
He freely admitted it. When they originally started, they were a 4-piece. And then when they brought in the second guitarist, it completely changed things in one direction. And then he pretty much like custom made his rig. So, because when he changes from those real down-tuned parts into those real sort of the Latin, whatever it is, the whatever those bright bits. Yeah, he sets it all up on his laptop and it just all changes for him. And it's like, like, how do you think Periphery do it? I'm sorry, but the actual concept to actually sit there and program that and do that is still an effort in itself.
Yeah.
That not only to be able to, when you think about it, you have to play in perfect time because it's running at that program. If you're not in time when that tone change comes in, you fucked it. The amount of musicianship that actually goes into it on a deeper level. You're looking at these people that can't even that will pick up a guitar, a right-handed guitar the wrong way, scratch your head like a primitive animal, and go, how do I play this? And they go, oh, okay, you do it. Play the Periphery song along with the program then. Don't miss time.
So growing up as metalheads, even in the Sydney surrounds was rough because you didn't have a lot of your own people about. How was it in somewhere like Broken Hill where, obviously much lower population, probably not as many people around? Like, did you find that there was kind of just like a half a dozen metalheads that were kind of in the whole town, like at your age group, or was it?
I don't know about you guys. I had heaps.
Yeah.
We go to parties and the whole backyard would be chock full of us. So
nice.
Yeah. I feel like there was a lot more people just into music in general though, as well. Like, and there was like punk people, metal people, rock. There was always kind of high school bands going around.
Yeah, so, and it was new,
actually, one of those are coming back for this gig.
Yeah. It was new, like, because we were all in bands, but as like we were in bands, like our friends had come along and they'd come along and they'd come along, and it blew up. Like, and the shows were massive when we were young, and the shows were massive, like huge, so good.
Band frenzies,
yeah.
Just backyard parties.
Yeah,
it was right. There'd be a band there.
Yeah,
man, that's a way. That's a way.
Pretty cool,
more
man.
of that. And that's the thing. Remember that used to happen when we were sort of growing up. You'd be trying to, I'm having a party. My parents are going away. Oh, can we play at you? Can we play at your party?
Yeah.
Can we play at your party?
That's how. That's how like Horrorwood Mannequins kind of got such a big name in the Sydney scene back in the day. Is they would be, the party band. They would play anyone. If they knew someone, a metalhead that was having a party, they'd be like, "Yo, we'll play at your show. We'll play at your party." And they would come and they'd bring like a PA, and it would be basic as fuck, and the sound would be like awful because it wasn't balanced or anything like that. But it was, they were the party band, and they were just out there doing their Wednesday 13 impression stuff, absolutely kicking ass with it. And I say that with all love in the world. Like, I'm not trying to disregard anything that was like
awesome.
They were out there doing the hard yards and doing that, and that's why they got the reputation that they did. So
wasn't there a member named Kyle as well?
I don't know.
Pretty sure there was. I bumped into him at a show recently. He's not a Horrorwood mannequin anymore. Let's put it that way. He's
well, I mean, Aubrey looks like Jesus these days. So long brown hair and a big old beard. Nah, but that's all right.
Do you ever think that sort of like growing up in that country surrounding and stuff like that? It's funny because you say you sort of grew up with so many punk rock and stuff like that. And Raff's mentioned it on here a couple of times, and I could not agree with him more. We've always said that rap is the rebellious side of disaffected disaffected like black youth and stuff like that. And metal is like the opposite scale of that, like disaffected white youth sort of deal. Sort of gravitates towards metal a bit more. Do you think that it sort of helps because country is such a big thing sort of out there still and stuff like that? That's why that sort of alternative rock holds so well with the younger crowd out there?
I don't know, really.
Or am I just thinking this shit way too hard and just going a bit too deep?
I don't know. I know is sometimes I don't mind a little bit of country. Like, it's not something that I actively go out and listen to, but some of it, when I hear it, I'm kind of like, oh, that kind of something's happening in there. You know what I mean? Like, somewhere at a deep level, there must be like a crossover between metal and.
I think that what it comes down to is, like, you mentioned that people just sort of you mentioned people. A lot of people are just like fans of music as a general thing, you know, and I think that is quite possibly the key to what Kyle was mentioning there is, like, you know, it's a smaller town, so, or a smaller city, I guess. So, you know, there's not necessarily always going to be a lot to do, and people, you know, they're going to be, if they're music fans, they're more like music fans rather than metal fans or country fans or, you know, rap fans or whatever. You know, they tend to be just fans of music as a whole and be more open-minded about that side of things, because it's like, you can't be sort of, like, I guess it's like a beggars can't be choosers thing, right? Like, when you've only got, you don't have a lot of gigs, so you like to go to any kind of gig when it's on, and you just kind of, because you've got that exposure to different styles, you gain that appreciation and understanding for the different styles. That'd be my sort of speculation. Not, you know, obviously speaking just purely, you know, from like kind of taking some guesses there. But like, I would imagine that's possibly a factor.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, when I was in Second of Fire, we'd play a gig, there'd be us who played metal, there'd be a punk band, you know, a rock band, a shit band. The crowd would stick around for all of them because they just went, we want to hear some music. Yeah, it wasn't like the metal bands would rock up and go, oh, they're done, we're leaving. It was just, they wanted to hear some tune. So. Exactly. Nah, so that's
what we like to do.
Yeah, we love that. We love that because that means, you know, we just, I mean, look, most of the time it's not that much of an issue these days, but, you know, we still occasionally get these people that want to be very close-minded about their interest in music, and you still get these people. And look, most of the time they're either the real old school guys that are like, where it's just like metal and that's it, or they're like teenagers. They haven't quite got over the edgelord side of it yet.
Which they're okay. I'll give look.
The teenagers will grow out of it.
Hormones are going funny. I'll give you that pass.
The teenagers will grow out of it. But, you know, if you're an old fucking, you know, if you're an old bitter cunt and you can't admit that, like, there's actual talent in anything other than metal, like, I got no time for you, you know? Like, those kind of people just, you know,
and the thing is, I don't disagree with you. Metal does rule. Like, I do think metal is a supreme music. You love me or hate me. However, there is some really great other music out there. You should really pay attention.
Yeah, yeah.
But metal is superior. I'm sorry, I can't help that. You know, definitely. There's no you know, it's like rap. You know, you don't get like 40, 50 years and generational stuff like that, and you know, you're not be the best.
So. Okay, we kind of touched on that you guys have, you know, considered writing some original stuff there. Obviously, you know, there's an element of, like, you're not going to know how that sounds until you start writing it. But if you had to kind of speculate, what do you think the original stuff's going to kind of sound like when that starts coming about?
Good question.
That's a tough one. Yeah. No.
We all sort of listen to similar but different. Sort of.
Yeah. I think we all like overlap on a lot of bands, but then we kind of a few of the other ones.
That's a big thing. Now's the perfect time. Now's the perfect time because we're having this new metal resurgence at the moment.
It's
back.
Yeah, it's back in a strong way, and like that. But I think that's the best kind of setup, right? Like where you've got. There's a core sort of group of bands that you all kind of overlap on, but then you're all pulling influences from each of you is pulling influences from some stuff that the other guys aren't. And like I think that is the best way to build a sort of strong sound, because you know the core sound will be a blend of 2 or 3 bands, but then you know drums is pulling a bit more style from this other band, and bass is pulling a bit more style from over here, and guitar's doing this kind of thing that one band does, and you know it's such a fun way to write and come up with something that's familiar but also unique at the same time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure. It's I think it's going to be fun.
Who knows what's going to come?
Yeah.
Could be absolute.
You guys have the responsibility.
Ideas flying back and forward in the WhatsApp.
And look, I don't want to throw too much pressure on you all, but it looks like you all got the duties of setting up the weekend. So, like, I expect I want to be there. I want you to make me feel things and get ready to do 2 things: smash piss. Oh shit! No, I got to work. Smash piss and listen to some mad music and work.
The Friday night, I think, is just going to be about chatting and getting to know everybody, because I don't think there's any bands until the Saturday. So Friday night's going to be fun.
Sunday midday.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, I think what we're looking at doing is, I think we managed to get one of the 5 rooms at the nearby campsite, whatever it is. But it's like a kilometre from the thing. Something like that. But basically, there was like 5 rooms, and we're like, yeah, okay, we'll get one now so that we can be set. Because look, I understand there's appeal.
Charge our stuff.
Yeah, we understand the appeal of camping, but we're going to have a ton of gear to charge and everything, so we're going to need a room, unfortunately. But like Kyle and I are basically looking at going, all right, because like I mean, originally I am from Sydney, but I've moved up to Brisbane since then. So like basically I'm going to fly down to Sydney on the Thursday, crash at Kyle's place, probably on that couch that's behind him in the thing, and then we're going to get maybe a few hours sleep, and it's going to be up at like 2 a.m. to start the fucking drive, because that's a long ass drive, and it's going to be, you know, even if we did it straight, it's 12 hours. Yeah. So
I got a system. We'll get there comfortably, and we'll all be fresh as a fucking daisy.
Yeah, but that's it. Like we're gonna get there, get to the hotel, crash for a couple of hours, and then head out to the site, I think, and start meeting people. Because like, look, there's gonna be so many amazing bands at this thing. Yeah, and even just the bands, it's gonna be so many cool people to meet, so many amazing people to talk to, and once you add the punters in, this is gonna be unreal. This is gonna be,
and then just alcohol on top of that, and me in general. I'm just gonna run a muck. Anytime his back's turned, I'm just gonna be running a muck.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep him on a tight leash, I think.
That'll be good.
Which will be in theme, right? Like it's post-apocalyptic stuff. I'll keep him in like. Have to keep him in a collar, chained to the booth, to the 2 dudes booth, and like then I'll go and do the roving reporting, and he can do the booth interviews, because otherwise he's never gonna come back.
All I want you to do is I want to have a whole bunch of people. I want a whole bunch of you trying to steal me away, and Raff just standing there, just going, "Just walk away, walk away."
But I actually think, Kyle, you hit on a really, really great idea there earlier. This may be the time that this event may be the time for us to try and settle the debate of the new metal big four, because like obviously everyone has, you know, the OG big four is, you know, like Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer, but that's from. You know, that's from 40 years ago now. That's thrash era. Like, what's the new metal big four?
I mean, Korn's got to be it.
Korn's on there.
That's a lock for sure.
I always have one big theory, and it's even with the thrash big four. It's always 3 and one's different.
Yeah.
Right, and I guarantee you go to any party with a metalhead. Who's the big four? Who's the thrash big four? It will be one of those 4 in 3, but one will always be different outside of that 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, yeah, I think this is the thing we're going to do. I think in the lead up to this event, we'll ask every band what they think the new metal big four is. Not that it's a new metal specific event, but I think it'll be a perfect time to try and settle it. And then at the event, we'll ask as many punters as we can to try and get some answers, and then coming out afterwards, we'll maybe do a whole video about it, guys. We'll do a supercut of all the answers, and we'll tally up the scores and see where we get. But I think Corn's definitely a good shout. Yeah.
Who people want to hear there?
Yeah. So Corn. All right. Yep. So Corn. Who else are you guys putting on there?
I like Limp Bizkit.
I'm gonna say Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Limp. Yeah, it's got to be on there.
We're not an old Machine Head.
Ooh, see, I've always said one that should always be in the conversation.
See, I would say Slipknot would be one.
Yeah,
put in there. And then I think just in terms of like how successful they were and just well known they were, I'd have to say Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the funny thing though, because like Linkin Park is one of those bands that I think doesn't necessarily, like, to my mind, when I'm thinking new metal, Linkin Park is not a band that immediately jumps into my thought process. Maybe because they came a little bit later in the era, but I completely agree that, you know, when you start talking about it at the time, what they were doing at the time absolutely fit into that new metal definition, and they just like exploded and took the world by storm. Yeah. So that's a pretty good shout. I mean, we actually had a guy on a little while ago, mate of mine from the US who does like sort of underground rap stuff over there, and he, you know, used to be all in the new metal scene during the time, and he actually was telling us he was at a Linkin Park gig sort of before they blew up. It was a little bit before One Step Closer released and just exploded, and he was like, yeah, he's like, even before all that, he's like, these guys have got, like, they're going to go a long way. Like, he knew, he could tell there was something special there. And I'm like, we were floored. The fact that, you know, like, getting to see a band that went on to that level of success before they were famous, right? Like, it's got to be an incredible feeling. So, all right, so you guys are putting for your big four of new metal: Korn, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, and Linkin Park. That's the consensus between you guys, do you think?
Lock it in.
All right.
Lock it in. We're going to sort this out.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some tallies. And look, if you're watching this, let us know in the comments if you know, either on the YouTube video, on Facebook. Hell, you can fucking email us, twodudestalkmusic@gmail.com. If you're listening on the audio podcast and you want to reach out, let us know who you think the big four of new metal are, because I think this is something that needs to be decided. Because when did the big four tour happen? That was like what, 10 plus years ago? That they were doing the Big Four tour, so it's got to be, if you want to look at that, it's got to be coming time for a Big Four of new metal tour to happen.
Oh my God,
they're all coming back.
Oh man, man, it'd be like a Family Values 2.0. Oh my Lord,
how good!
Yeah,
my heart. Oh my millennial fucking heart.
Man, I think I think the censors would have a field day with that one if you did Family Values 2.0, like given the craziness of the last one, right? No one wants a repeat of Woodstock '99. Thank you very much.
No, but that was on the promoters. That was on the
that was on the organisers. 100%. Yeah. Righto. So look, before we take it home here, for the podcast, where can people find you guys if they want to keep up with what you guys have going on, and if they want to be first in line to hear any original stuff you guys are going to be putting out?
At the moment, it's just Facebook and Instagram, just under Pit Vipers. I think the Instagram's Pit Vipers Band. There's not a great deal on there at the moment, but I mean, we keep posting reels and stuff leading up to this gig. With basically, it's just our band practices that we record. We put little snippets up of it, trying to get people to get keen, get ready to go. Excited. And then that's where we'd post any upcoming gigs, any upcoming music that's coming up. Anything like that is basically there. And then if we do, well, when we write some shit, Spotify, I dare say. Yeah.
Mad.
Awesome.
Can I ask? Can you guys go down to your local Ari? Right, and I guarantee you'll be able to find an old digger that'd be able to play some bagpipes.
Oh, you got you got to do it.
And I want to hear shoots and ladders.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be next level.
Yeah.
We should reach out to those. What's that? That it's like a bagpipe duo or something, and they put like flamethrowers on the shit.
Whoa.
I'm sure that's a thing. I'm sure I've seen it. I don't know. Maybe I dreamed it. Maybe I dreamed it. I don't know.
Either way.
And look, I know we're only on the first interview of many for this event, but I need somebody to have a flamethrower guitar at some stage. You can't do the metal show at the Mad Max compound without someone having a flamethrower guitar there. It needs to be happening.
Someone's got it.
Yeah. Do you reckon we could make one, Raff?
I am not making one because I don't trust myself with a flamethrower. I actually know someone that I think. Okay, I'm going to reach out to someone. Oh God!
Yes.
Don't do anything that's going to get us arrested if we're pulled over on the way to Broken Hill. Okay, like that's all I ask. Don't build anything that's going to be like that's going to land us in the slammer. Okay?
No weapons of mass destruction or nothing like that.
That's all right. Silverton Jail's on the next door, really, isn't it?
I will not bring on the Mad Max apocalypse while we're at this event.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, thank you very, very much to Steve, Harry, and Jared for joining us for the podcast today. We very much appreciate you guys taking the time to chat with us. Thank you very much to my co-host, Kyle. Thank you guys for watching. As we said, there's going to be links to all of this cool stuff. We'll have links to Pit Vipers socials in the description down there. And look, we're going to have some extra stuff this weekend from these guys too, so stick around for that. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.